Say about radio IT.
Okay, it's not showing there yet. Can I have the clicker?
I don't have it. Okay, I will switch the slides.
You will switch
Yeah.
to slides?
Yeah.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. So, how was the pizza? More announcement later. Can we have the slide change? We also have our next Conference.js meeting. Oh, up here, you can find out all the information of the conferences of WarsawJS Meetup on calendar.warsawjs.com. You will have all the information here. And the next Conference.js will be on March 24th, 2023 in Warsaw, Poland. So welcome everyone to join. And the ticket information, if you get early bird ticket, you can buy it on conferencejs.com. And if you buy it now, you have the chance to decide who will be our speaker on this event. And ticket for WarsawJS Meetup 95, the next one, tickets are available now on this link. Good. So now we will be having the lightning talks. The first speaker is senior developer of JavaScript. Are you ready? So let's give him a moment. Let me see what else I know about him. Yes, of course, very handsome, very loving person. I'm not sure, you haven't danced for me yet? Yeah, tomorrow we will go for dancing classes. Are you ready? Okay, so let's welcome Jacek Rojek.
Okay, so I will just quickly talk about the tool I've used on my latest, most recent workshop. So often if someone is like having a workshop and for a group of people, there is always a problem with the configuration of your environment, and it's like really time consuming, and it can cause like really massive problem and headaches when you have a group of people, let's say 10 people, and one of the person struggles with the environment, it might take like a lot of time to resolve. And there is a good tool that helps to solve this problem. It's git.io. And I will show you how it works and what are the cool features of it. So there's even this like cool feature that you can implement this button in your README, and it will open automatically the live environment of your project. So not only it opens the environment, but you can write your own script that will be run when the coding environment is open. So this is a project from my previous workshop when we were like setting up the CMS with frontends. So you can see I've already opened it in a previous tab. So once it opens, then it installs the npm packages and then opens the ports for the front end. And all of this configuration lives in the git-pod YAML file. I'll make it a bit bigger. It's slow when streaming. Too slow. Have to wait. Oh, there we go. So in the config file, it's quite simple, but you can define tasks that will be run initially, and then the command that will be run after the initial tasks are completed. So here you can do npm install, npm build, and then you can start like the server, and it's gonna run automatically on every machine that connects to this link. So the way I've used it is person can fork your repository and then create a live environment of the project on their machine. And it's going to be running separately on each individual machine. And this way, everyone will have their own project ready to start coding, like in less than 1 minute. There are obviously problems with GitHub when you first time log in. You have to be careful because it's going to ask you about authentication. But apart from that, it's quite easy to use. And so far I had a really good time with using it. And I'll have like one more cool feature of it, which you can specify a Docker file that can be used for creating the image, the virtual image environment. And I'll quickly do swap it. But first I will show one more feature, which is live coding on the same repo. So you can share the link with a different person, and then can interact with the same project as you work on. So right now you can see like someone is typing, even though, yeah. So pretty cool. And I will show you the. Okay, so this one basically the default image is Linux. Ubuntu, but you can specify a different image. So here in my Docker file, I can just specify, so here in the Gitpod, I specify the file, and in the Docker file, I can just pick a different distribution. And here I'm just gonna rename it. Running a bit slow, but I will just demonstrate it. I will swap the file, commit. Open the workspace again. And this tool is basically free for like 50 hours a week, which is more than enough for running a workshop. Unless I had image downloaded, then otherwise it should build an image from the Manjaro source. Oh yeah, it's building. So yeah, this is how it works. Just pretty handy tool for using. I don't know. Installs the extensions for you as well. So linter, all of that is already installed based on the project. So that also helps with prettier tailwind config. This all can be installed on your virtual environment and saves the config. So this is the tool. Any questions? This one.
All right, a little bit of dialogue then. Thanks for the presentation. I think it was just amazing. It looks like magic, which suggests that it's like an amazingly advanced tech. The question I have, because it is great to, as you said, in workshops, whenever you want to like co-code with someone, 2 questions. First off, perhaps you can find it online, but I was wondering if from top of your head, can you say something about the machines that it is running on? Like how, yeah.
So it is using the Docker under the hood. So it's running the image of Linux Ubuntu with the default configuration. I think it's the default image you can find on Docker Hub, and it's using this under the hood. So if I could do a quick demo. I will install NeoFetch on this Linux distro. If I have it installed, no. Cannot read the font. I didn't have this issue with the font before. Yep. Okay, never mind. I guess I cannot. Yeah, so. Yeah, so you can do anything that you can do on virtual machine. I was actually trying to run this NeoFetch before, and it ran, and it shows you the Ubuntu distro of how many RAMs does it have, like all the information. So what was the second question?
Right, thanks. I was wondering if how these sessions work, like because there's a code base that you see.
So the sessions are workspaces, and on the free tier you have two simultaneously running workspaces. And you can connect to each one of them. Oh, for the sharing, you just have to enable share option here. And that allows you to share the link with a person, and it will open the same workspace as yours and allow the live editing of your code. And on the free tier, you only have two workspaces with limited amount of hours, from what I remember. I think it's around 50 per week, per month. Any more questions? No? Okay, then thank you.
Done. Okay, next up is Arthur. What will be your topic?
So I will be talking about JavaScript Championship. But I need your support, Piotr. Live? Hi, everybody. So I will be speaking in Polish. Dobry wieczór wszystkim. Jestem Artur. Jest mi niezmiernie miło po raz kolejny móc być na WarsawJS. I osoby, które bywają regularnie na WarsawJS, mogą już mnie kojarzyć. A miesiąc temu ogłosiłem, że organizuję mistrzostwa JavaScript. Historia jest taka, że pochodzę ze środowisk kompetytywnych. Interesuje mnie kompetytywne programowanie, ale od pewnego czasu zajmuję się szeroko pojętymi aplikacjami dla dużych przedsiębiorstw. Ale jednak nadal mam chęć doskonalenia swoich umiejętności i pomyślałem, że nie może być ciekawszego wyzwania niż odnalezienie najlepszego programisty JavaScript w Warszawie. I chciałbym wam zaprezentować rezultaty częściowe spotkań, które już udało mi się zorganizować i chciałbym tutaj przede wszystkim podziękować wszystkim osobom, które przychodzą na moje spotkanie, na quizy i nie ma nic bardziej cieszącego mnie, jak to, kiedy widzę, że ludzie z taką dociekliwością chcą się rozwijać i chcą zgłębiać techniki takich niszowych rzeczy jak JavaScript, aczkolwiek uważam, że ważnym momentem w życiu jest, jeżeli uczymy się, jeżeli już umiemy się w czymś poruszać na poziomie eksperckim i to nam pozwala w innych branżach osiągać znacznie szybciej i większe rezultaty. Chciałbym wam pokazać, jak wyglądają przykładowe pytania, które wymyśliłem na dzisiaj dla was. I teraz ogólnie zamysł jest taki, że po spotkaniu będę zainteresowanym osobom rozdawał kody, które możecie tutaj wpisać i sprawdzić swoją wiedzę. Nie będziemy tego quizu rozwiązywać, dlatego że zaraz powiem o tym, jaki jest cel, dlaczego tutaj przed wami występuję. W każdym razie jestem ciekaw. Powiem wam mniej więcej, jaki jest zakres. Okej, mamy. Chyba mamy. Słuchajcie, więc tak, zaczynamy bardzo prostymi rzeczami, sprawdzamy, jak bardzo rozumiemy parser przeglądarki. Nie wiem, być może ktoś z was już zna, jaka jest odpowiedź. W każdym razie poziom trudności tylko rośnie. Tutaj na przykład jest kilka tagów, chyba nie będzie nam to ładnie działało. Słuchajcie, jest kilka tagów, które są w specjalny sposób parsowane. Te tagi to script i text area. Kolejne na przykład pytanie, jakie możecie spotkać na mistrzostwach JavaScript wedle mojej wizji, to sprawdzenie, czy JavaScript będzie potrafił poprawnie wypisać właśnie tag zamykający. Polecam, żebyście mogli sprawdzić. Kolejne pytanie to po prostu, tak jak moje pierwsze wystąpienie w ogóle na WarsawJS było o niekompilowaniu, nietranspilowaniu naszego kodu przez Babel, to już niektóre nowsze rzeczy możemy mieć wbudowane w przeglądarce i to jest o tym kolejne pytanie. Wow. Tak, coś tutaj nam... Okej. Są też jeszcze takie ukryte rzeczy, czyli na przykład to, czy zawsze właśnie musimy zamykać pewne tagi, czy nie. W każdym razie mamy też nie tylko pytania o JavaScript, ale również chcę, żeby każda osoba, która chce się rozwijać, żeby nie tylko uczyła się samego programowania w JavaScript, ale również takich ogólnych rzeczy związanych z wydajnością i z tym, jak szybko działają nasze aplikacje, czyli zaczynamy od jakichś prostych pytań o to, żeby jeżeli ktoś na przykład dołącza do naszej firmy i jeszcze nie ma dużego doświadczenia, to chcę, żeby ta osoba nie czuła się zagubiona kolejnymi pytaniami. I teraz na przykład mam do was pytanie, czy ktoś z was wie, jaka to jest odpowiedź? W zasadzie dla doświadczonych osób to banalna sprawa. A ktoś się pokusi o udzielenie odpowiedzi? Bo to takie pierwsze, trudniejsze pytanie chyba. W ogóle, czy są na sali osoby, które publikują biblioteki w ekosystemie JS? Okej, mamy trochę. No to słuchajcie, na was przede wszystkim liczę, żebyście w imieniu oka udzielili odpowiedzi, a pozostałe osoby... Słuchajcie, po prawej to teraz pewien przerywnik. Tak, niech każda osoba, która jest zainteresowana, się zapozna. Słuchajcie, dobrze, bardzo ładnie. Bardzo ładnie. Widzimy, kto optymalizuje. Słuchajcie, i tutaj chciałbym powiedzieć, że cele osób, które mogą chcieć spotykać się po godzinach, mogą być różne. Po prawej stronie rozszerzyłem stronę, na której możecie się zapisywać meet.zochnia.pl o wasze cele, dlatego że mnie to bardzo interesuje i w ten sposób jestem w stanie dostosować jeszcze lepsze pytania pod nasze razem zwiększające się kompetencje. Dlatego, że początkowo w ogóle ten pomysł powstał po to, żebym mógł zwiększać kompetencje osób, które z nami szanuję, czyli chodziło o pieniądze, ale tak naprawdę po prawej stronie macie inne powody, które dla mnie też są bardzo ważne i ucząc innych i pomagając im zwiększać ich zarobki, że tak powiem, bo to jest najbardziej trywialny powód, to tak naprawdę ja rozwijam się w tych wszystkich pozostałych. Być może ktoś z was też by chciał się rozwijać, na przykład chociażby w projektowaniu, oprogramowaniu i architekturze, to zapraszam. Po prawej stronie wszony adres. W każdym razie mamy tutaj też o bezpieczeństwie, mamy o tym, w jaki sposób na przykład czy ktoś z was myślał o tym, że zasoby, które ładujecie, mogą być niebezpieczne? Mamy też o tym pytania. W każdym razie może na tym zakończymy. Mam tutaj jeszcze sporo pytań. Oczywiście, tak jak mówiłem, nie będziemy ich wszystkich omawiać, ale na przykład tutaj takim pytaniem zakończymy, dlatego że nie tylko dotyczy to, tylko proszę na to zerknijcie, czy ktoś z was zna odpowiedź, bo to jest też ciekawe pytanie. I ktoś w ogóle, czy są na sali osoby, które wiedzą, co jest XSS attack? Jak myślicie, która jest odpowiedź poprawna? Okej. Osoby, które chciałyby... Słucham? Nie. Jaka jest nagroda? Słuchajcie, mam ze sobą kody, które zainteresowanym osobom, a pierwszeństwo będą miały osoby najlepsze teraz, te, które czują, że wiedzą. I każdy z was będzie mógł sprawdzić swoją wiedzę. Jeżeli się spodoba, to zapraszam na spotkania. Mamy tutaj sporo pytań. W każdym razie, na przykład, dobra, to coś takiego bardziej o architekturze. I na tym kończymy. Kto zna odpowiedź, bo to będzie banalne? Powinno być. Co to jest refactoring? Pięknie. Czyli kto był pierwszy? Tutaj mamy kolegę. Dobra, pięknie. Słuchajcie, chciałbym wszystkie osoby, które są zainteresowane zwiększaniem swoich kompetencji, szybszym wprowadzaniem innych osób, lepszym rozwijaniem swoich projektów w waszych przedsiębiorstwach, zachęcam, żebyście zerknęli na meet.zoknia.pl. Ten quiz jest dostępny po slashu trójka jest link. I co? Osoby, które są zainteresowane, zapraszam. Najbliższe spotkanie jest na stronie napisane przedostatni czwartek miesiąca, 21 lipca. To tyle. Dziękuję bardzo. Mam ze sobą kody, których możecie użyć, żeby dostać się do quizu. Dziękuję bardzo. Bez tych kodów nie ma dostępu do tego quizu, więc jakby zamykamy taką... bardzo dziękuję i do zobaczenia.
Our next speaker is Tadeusz Kurpiel, and he was inspired by one of the previous speakers. So now he wants to give a lightning talk about dates and calendars. Please welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. What language do you prefer, English or Polish? English, okay. So forgive me all my flaws and mistakes because this is my first talk at WarsawJS. And okay, at the beginning I have a question. What year do we have right now? What year, yes. What year number do we have? 2022 is some answer, okay. Any other ideas? Okay, I'm very disappointed at you. As JavaScripters, you have to answer, of course, this is the year 52, because JavaScript measures the time from the 1st of January of Unix epoch, right? Are there any people older than Unix epoch? Oh, maybe you. You are definitely a senior JavaScript developer. Congratulations. Okay, so Uh, what I want to talk about is the days and calendars and some presumptions we make to easy our life, but what is not always true and not always right. The first question was about the year number, and as we can see, it is not always true that this is the year 2022. In some regions of the world, we can hear, for example, 1444. This is according to the Hijra calendar, which is valid in Muslim countries. And in North Korea, we have the year 111. This is the Juche era, and so on and so on. Okay, but is the year number the only thing which can change? No. In some countries, the year doesn't have 20 months. And in not all the countries, the week is not always have 7 days. For example, in Ethiopia, we have about 13 or sometimes 14 months year. And the very similar question is, what day the year starts? We all, our first thoughts probably will be 1st of January. Yes, but not always. Even in Poland, there are cases when the year starts not on the 1st of January. Why? Let's think about some companies, limited liability companies or public liability companies, so-called spółka z o.o. and spółka akcyjna. They can set their fiscal year different from the calendar year. And what's the next field? We have to be very careful about dates, chronology, and historical researches. For example, in the Great Britain, the change from Julian to Georgian calendar wasn't at the year 1582, but at the year about 7030. And all the dates from North America, from the states belonging to the British Crown, were dated in the Julian calendar, even in the 18th century. And when we look back at the records from revolutionary France at the end of 18th century, the week wasn't 7 days week. They had 10 days week. And why I am talking about it? Because there are some edge cases when we have to be very careful not to use the things and the measures we are familiar with. Sometimes we have to dive into other things, other measures of time, other names, and so on. For example, do you know what day of the week was the first day of our era, common era? End of time? Oh, almost. Okay. Maybe one curiosity at the end. Do you know what's the earliest event in the human history? What we are sure to the day, the exact day it was? It was in the year about 2070, 713 before Common Era. In the China, two astronomers had a party, okay, and they were so drunk they weren't able to predict the solar eclipse, and they were fired by the ruler by beheading. So we have to be very careful using dates, calendars, and so on. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions?
The entry point question would be, have you heard about the temporal, the proposition for JavaScript that is coming for the standard?
For our proposition for JavaScript? Like in Java, right? Don't know very much about it yet, the topic yet. Sorry.
It's totally okay. It's just coming, and the changes to do dates in JavaScript are coming, so hold on tight.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tadeusz. So I learned one more thing about China today from you. That's very interesting. Okay, so our last lightning speaker, Rafał.
Okay. Okay, hello. I don't know if the clicker is working. Oh, okay. There is some lag. Okay, so my name is Rafał Pocztarski. I don't know if this is lagging so much or to learn about it. But also, and I will be probably speaking next month about it in more details, but today is just lightning talk. But I also encourage everyone to just look at the programming language, not just to write in JavaScript and TypeScript, but to look into the programming language that are used to implement the engines that are executing JavaScript and TypeScript, some systems programming language. So people often ask me what languages to learn. So I always say that C, C++, Rust, and Zeek are today, I think, the most interesting systems programming languages to learn for different reasons. But of course, JavaScript and TypeScript. But also Scheme, Haskell, Smalltalk, Erlang, some less known programming language that you don't have to know a lot about them or write big applications, but just writing few lines of code and understanding the language can be very interesting to even write JavaScript better if you know other programming paradigms like functional, like pure functions in Haskell or some other ideas like for example the concurrency in Erlang. Also, assembly, brainfuck, and lambda calculus. This is also something that I recommend, especially lambda calculus, and I'm serious about it. It's really, and actually even you can write some answers on code wars in lambda calculus directly. I considered it a programming language, but it is just a mathematical notation from the 30s. But so it's almost 100 years old. But I believe it to be the first programming language, like real programming language. And this is pretty much all that I wanted to talk about, just to get you interested before the next talk that I will be giving here. But maybe if you have some questions, then maybe there is some time for it.
Yeah. Hey, so the question is pretty just high level. What do you think it's the pros and cons between Rust and Zeek? Why they choose Zeek? Why it's so cool and etc.
Yeah. So one of the nice features of Zeek is that it has no hidden control flow. Everything is explicit. It has very interesting handling of exceptions. And so, like there's no time to just tell a lot about it. Maybe Daniel will also talk about it because I know that he likes the language as well. It's like, I believe I look at it as like lower levels and the creators of Zeek were trying to create like the next C, not next C++ like Rust, but the next C language. And I think they succeeded about it, and the language is very nice. You just need to look at the examples to get the feel, but I think that this is one of the nicest systems programming language today.
Is that I just found your profile on codewars.com. Yeah, and I see that you're a member only since 1 month ago, and you have owner points more than 1,400. And my boyfriend just commented that you just outranked him. He has 1,300 something. So, and I noticed that you did this in incredibly short amount of time. And I wanted to ask you if you can share some experience, like how did you do it?
Yes, I actually blame Piotr for it because I was telling him about some of the programming like courses on the internet. And he told me that, well, it's like nothing, it's not much better than Code Wars. And I remember that before that, I looked into Code Wars some time ago, but I don't know, maybe there were less examples there, and I just didn't get very interested. But after Piotr told me about it, I saw that there are really interesting challenges there. And also there are a lot of programming languages to write your answers in. So the next thing I know, I'm in the middle of the night, I'm writing in COBOL, and it's like, rewriting my Fortran solution for some other, thing, or writing in brainfuck, actually. I mean, really. Actually, for my brainfuck solution, I got points for good practices. So I didn't even know that there was such a thing in brainfuck programming language. But it turns out that there are, and it's very, for me, it's like, I need to, I was just talking to Piotr that I don't have even, on my work computer, I don't have CodeWars, logged in because it would distract me too much. So for me, it was hard to get out of CodeWars and not to just do it, but I recommend everyone to try it because some of the examples are really challenging. Are like maybe one example. One example is to write a function that returns a string "hello world." Okay, seems easy, but one of the challenges is to do it only 2 characters per line. So you cannot make more than 2 characters in every line. So and you need to create a function. But it turns out that the arrow function, the arrow cannot be alone on the line. So you cannot use the arrow function. The function keyword is obviously too long. So you have to, think about it. Another challenge is to do only 1 character per line, which is much more difficult. And another one that I solved was to only 1 character per line, and you cannot use letters. So, and it's interesting. It's interesting. If anyone would like to talk about it afterwards, then I'm happy to do it.
I just have a comment on that. There is a clan, WarsawJS, that you can join on CodeWars. So if you just type the clan name, it will automatically associate with all the members. And there's a list of, I think, like 20 people already. And I think you're the top one. No, just for me.
Yes, it's a great idea because if you just write WarsawJS as a clan name in your profile, then you will automatically get allies with other people who do the same, and you can compare your solutions to those people's solutions, but only after yours is working. So you cannot look at someone else's to just get idea how to solve the solution, but first your solution must pass all the tests, and then you will be able to see other people's solutions. And I always like to look at other people's solutions to compare the ideas, and you can learn a lot from that, really.
Thank you very much. That's very interesting. Do we have more people that would like to come up for a lightning talk? Any brave ones? Okay, so I think that will be it for today. And thank you everyone for joining. And you can get the early ticket on Confront.js and the next WarsawJS workshop. So hope to see you next time. Have a great evening.